right, we got a new setup this time. It's not really a new setup. It's a desk and a bed sheet that I hung up, but makes it look a little bit better. But how's everybody's week? Let me think about how my week was. What did I do this week? It was Memorial Day. How's everybody's Memorial Day? Am I supposed to look at the camera? Um, what did I do on this Memorial Day? I don't really do anything different on Memorial Day. I kind of like just treat it like a weekend, like a Saturday. So shout out to Bubbly. What did everybody do this weekend? What is Memorial Day? Memorial Day is like I don't mean to be disrespectful. What is Memorial Day? It's like for like the dead soldiers, right? That's what I think it is. So, welcome back to another solo episode. I haven't really been doing any of these since the first two, but I want to get back to doing them. I think I'm going to do like Wednesdays. I think I'll do like one a week, and then I'll do a guest um, once a week. Let's see what's going on in the news this week. Not WrestleMania. Summer Clash of Paris was this weekend for my wrestling fans. Um, I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I plan on watching it. Um, I just recently started getting back into wrestling. My brother Ian, he's been watching it and he's been trying to get me to watch it, and I was just like, dude, you're so lame. Like, why would you watch wrestling? Blah blah blah, whatever. Um, and then I find myself one night, he's in his room and I hear him watching it, and he was like, bro, just sit down real quick and just watch it. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll sit down with you. And I don't remember who was fighting. It was Rhea Ripley. And one of I think it was Rhea Ripley. I don't remember. But then I found myself like rooting for somebody in the fight, which was funny because I literally went from like, bro, this is so stupid, it's fake, and then 10 seconds later, I'm literally like, oh damn, she lost. Like, so that's pretty funny. And then I started getting into it. Then he comes home, and I'm working out, and on the TV, I have Monday Night Raw on because we have Netflix. Um, so I've been getting back into that again. Just John Cena's final. I think he's got like 9 matches left. It sucks that he's on SummerSlam though, because I only have or not SummerSlam, SmackDown, because I only have Netflix. But then I saw whatever Stephanie McMahon, she was saying to use a VPN and just watch SmackDown that way, because apparently I think in every country except for the United States you can watch um, SmackDown on Netflix, which is so stupid that they would do it like that. But yeah, I mean, me and my brother, we grew up watching wrestling. Um, we were big fans of D Generation X. I always liked Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I always thought he had like one of the best finishers. Yeah, me and Ian, we grew up. We liked D Generation X, and for my wrestling fans, they would do the suck it, and they'd do like an X. And when me and my brother were younger, we used to go to the bathroom and we would cross streams when we would pee, and then we would sing Degeneration X. So we'd be like, "Oh, bro, come on, let's go, Degeneration X." And then we would go in the bathroom. We would stand on opposite sides. We wouldn't touch. No tips touching, just streams crossing, and we just cross our streams, and we would go, "Just this is the P," and we would go, "Da-na-na-na." This is the P, by the way, not our, you know, we weren't touching. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na, Degeneration X. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na, Degeneration X. And then at the end we would go, suck it. And I think one time I got a little bit of pee in my sock when I was doing it. But and then my parents saw us one time, and they told us we weren't allowed to do that anymore. But that was a good wrestling memory. Degeneration X brought us that. I think about that every single time I think about that every time I listen to Triple H. Um, yeah, that's one of my favorites. Um, but let's see, anything other than wrestling. Did I used to watch? I don't remember when I stopped watching it actually. I'm trying to think. I think I used to go over to my one friend's house, Quentin. he saw one of my first videos, which was so funny. I posted a video and he commented, which was so funny because that's so random because I wasn't tagging myself in anything at that point. But yeah, did I used to go over his house and play? Oh no, I used to go over to my friend Quentin's house and we would play Dragon Ball Z, the video game. So fun. Not something that I would think that I would be a fan of, but um, I don't know if I had a game system, but he had a game system and he had some games that we would like to play. And I would go over his house every day before school. But then we wouldn't go to school. We would just stay home. We would play Dragon Ball Z. And he would always just cook me. He would beat me every single time. He beat me in that. He beat me in 2K. I remember my dad used to call him Dick Nose. I don't remember why. I don't want to be disrespectful. Sorry, Quentin. I don't know why he called you that. I think he just thought it was funny. But he used to call my friend Quentin Dick Nose. And then we started calling him Dick Nose. Um, yeah, I mean we used to call him Dick Nose. Sorry, Quentin. I shouldn't have called you that. He used to try to tell me, this is a little embarrassing, yeah, but my friend Quentin, Dick Nose, as my dad would say, he used to try to get me to call him the N word. I wasn't really comfortable with it, but he would beat me in Dragon Ball Z, and he would. I'm not even joking, by the way. This sounds like I'm saying like, oh, he tried to get me to call him like that sounds like a cover up, but I swear that's what happened. He would tell me to that doesn't even sound right to say. Yeah, he would tell me to call him that, and then he would like he would and then he would beat me in Dragon Ball Z. And I mean, I don't say it now. I want to say like I'm reformed. I was like we were like 9, I think. Yeah, we were 9 because I was 7 when me and my brother used to cross streams when we would pee and do Degeneration X. Um, but yeah, he used to beat me in Dragon Ball Z every single time, and he would make me call him the N word. And then he would beat me, and then I would just get so annoyed, and I would say it, and I didn't mean it, but I would say it like I meant it, and I'd slap him on the back of the head when he would beat me, and then but I don't think he liked that I would slap him on the back of the head because he was like, hey man, you're taking it too far. Oh my god, dude. Shout out to Quentin. We were actually best friends when I was in like young elementary school, like fourth grade. Is that elementary school? Like fourth grade, something like that. But I moved so much. I moved 20 times. I'm 25. I've moved 20 times in my life. Never went to the same school more than 2 years in a row. Um, so yeah, he was my friend when when I went to this school in Philadelphia, and that was in like fourth grade, and then I moved to a different school. And I moved so much when I was a kid, like I would kind of like forget about my friends, not in like a bad way, like he was a good friend, but I would just switch schools so much that like I just reconnected with somebody the other day, and I was like, oh, like you look familiar, and then I was like, what school did you go to? Like, are you from this area? And they're like, yeah. I was like, what? They said like, oh, what school did you go to? And I was like, honestly, I've moved so much, I don't remember all the schools that I went to, like that just blanks from my head. And I was like, but if you say it, I'll probably remember. And then they said the school, and I was like, oh, I think I went there. I think I went there. And then we remembered that, like, yeah, I did. Sorry, I got fucking my contacts. They give me eye boogers, dude. Dude, one of my biggest fears is that I'm gonna be talking to a girl one time, and I'm just gonna have a massive eye booger in my eye, and she's not gonna want to talk to me because sometimes I can't even tell. Sometimes I'm blinking, and I can feel it. But sometimes I'm just sitting there and we could be having a whole conversation. She's probably laughing. I'm like, damn, man, I'm funny. I'm so funny. Like, I'm chalking her up. Um, and then meanwhile, she's laughing because I just have a huge eye booger in my eye because that's happened before. Luckily, not with like a stranger, just my friends. They're like, dude, I can't even pay attention. You got a big eye booger right now. I don't know why. My eyes are gross, dude. It's awful. Lately, I haven't even been able to see recently. I've been going up to like coffee shops, and it's not my prescription, but I just feel like I'll be like this, like, dude, people probably. I think about this a lot. Like, what are other people's perception of me when they see me out in public? Um, I don't know. I think about that a lot. I know that's not good to think about, but I think about that like good and bad, because obviously, like you're in public, you want to appear good, but sometimes I'm like, damn, do I appear like weird in certain ways? Like I remember this job that I was working at for a little bit. I would kind of like I stand there like this, like with my arms crossed, or like an old man, I'll be like this. And I heard this dude from afar, and he was like standing there all professional and shit. And I was like, damn, they're talking about the way that I'm standing. And I was like, uh-oh. And so I think about that sometimes, like, man, is the way I'm standing weird? Or like, or I'm at the coffee shop and I'm like going like this, like trying to like squint to like see the board because I just have to find like the right connect, like, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh man, they probably think I'm psycho. Or sometimes like my eye will twitch. I don't know why, but I have a problem with my one eye, like this one. And I'll just be walking and I'll be like my eye will just go like that. And I'm like, damn, dude, I'm out here probably like winking at people. Some dude's gonna get the wrong message. He's gonna come up to me and be like, "Hey, I saw you back there. You were winking at me." And then I'm not gonna be rude, so obviously I'm gonna play it off. I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, I like, I was." Um, I'm out here gonna start wink at the wrong person. Some elderly man in the grocery store. He's gonna start yelling at me because I don't think old people like gay people that much. So I don't think they would like that too much. But anyway, my friend Quentin. Yeah. So we were friends. So we were friends. Yeah, when I was in fourth grade, and then I moved. So, um, yeah, then I moved, and then probably want to say fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. Okay, then 8 years later, not 8 years later. Fourth grade, fifth grade, four. I don't even need to count. It's 4 and 8 is 4. No. Because what grade was it? Was it eighth grade or was it seventh grade? I don't know. One of those grades. I don't remember which one. Sixth grade and then seventh grade. I'm gonna say seventh grade or eighth grade. I moved back into the area, so I moved again. Bam, back into the same school, and I remember that I went. Did I? Do I remember that? I think I remember that I went to that school, but again, like I moved so much that I didn't remember like any friends or anything like that. Like I literally, it's not even like, oh, I forgot about that friend. Like if you go like, oh, who were you friends with? I would be like, I don't remember anybody. Like I don't remember anybody. And I remember I went back to that school in whatever seventh or eighth grade, probably seventh, maybe eighth. Um, and it was weird because a couple people said to me, they come up there like Nigel, and then I'm like, and I would explain the situation. I'd be like, I kind of remember you, but I don't remember 100%. And they're like, yeah, we were friends like a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, and then that's kind of how I became friends with Quentin again because I did think he looked familiar. I thought he looked familiar. And but anyway, I probably shouldn't have said his name on here, um, but anyway, we like reconnected, and then we started being friends again, and then that was cool because he was one of my best friends for like a couple years, and then I feel like this happens with school all the time, and it's so crazy because like it could like literally be your best friends. I had a couple of them too. Some of your best friends, and then just because you don't go to the same school anymore, you just end up not talking anymore. Um, which that's kind of sad. I feel like that kind of happens in real life too. Like I have another friend. He's been my best friend or one of my best friends for. About the same time because he also used to call Quentin Dick Nose. Did my dad or did he come up with Dick Nose? I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I'm sure you got a nice nose, dude. You probably got a nose that ladies love, or boys, or men, not boys. Men. Um, but yeah, he used to call him Dick Nose too. Um, but anyway, I have another friend. Yeah, I met him because he went to school with my brother, Ian, and yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, then sometimes I just feel like you lose connection with people, and it's just so crazy because it's like, wow, we can literally talk every single day for years, and it's just usually when you're younger. I feel like it's less. Happens less when you're older. Like now, like you keep in touch with people that you're friends with, like kind of, or like if I become friends with somebody now, I'm probably gonna stay friends with them if we're friends, obviously. Um, But yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy how that happens. Where like, oh wow, we were best friends all through like middle school, high school. Bam, moves away, and then it's like we don't even text. And obviously that's like that's on both of us. I guess sometimes like I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like out of sight, out of mind. Like they're just gone, so you don't really like. Yeah, I guess you're not making new connections, so you kind of just like forget. But he recently actually just hit us up recently, and I actually forgot to answer, so I should probably answer him back. I was just busy, which is not an excuse. See, that's actually what happens is it's like somebody might reach out and then you're busy, so you don't answer. And then every time that happens, more time passes and you just end up not even being friends anymore. Um, but yeah, he's one of my good friends. I'm trying to think, did we have any weird things that we used to do? Um, Probably because we were friends for a while. I mean, we used to give each other cheese curls. That's not our best moment, and we would actually do it too much. For anybody that doesn't know what a cheese curl is, it's when you stick your finger up somebody's butt. So it's yeah, me, my brother, and my friend. We used to give each other cheese curls, and we thought it was the funniest thing in the world. It was kind of like gotcha, and um, yeah, and then we would. I mean, I would take it like too extreme sometimes. They would say, because like they would just do it like when you were like walking up the stairs, and then you're like, uh oh, gotta watch your back. But I mean, they would say I would take it too far sometimes because like my brother would be on his phone, and I'd come up behind him, and I would put him in a chokehold so he couldn't get away, and then I would stick my finger up his butt, and then he couldn't get away because I had him in a chokehold, and then I would ask him to like beg me to like stop putting my finger in his butt. Yeah, that's I mean we probably did that till we were like 16, 17. We don't do it anymore. But we used to do it back then. But it wasn't gay though. Like it was more just like gotcha. It was like gotcha, not gay. Cuz like we didn't like it. Like it was the worst thing in the world. Like every time somebody would do it, you'd be like, "I fucking hate this game." But then when you would get them, you're like, "Oh, I love this game. I gotcha." Um Yeah, so those are two of some of my best friends growing up. I don't think me and Quentin had any dumb games. Oh my god, dude, I got a story about him though. So I used to go to his house every morning before school. If we went to school, like I said, we would play video games, and there was this corner store by his house, and we were poor. Well, I was poor. I don't know if he was poor, but he was probably poor too because we were in the same neighborhood. So and like I didn't eat that much like when I was a kid. We didn't have that much food. And so I would go over to Quentin's house and I would be hungry. And there was a corner store right by his house. And I oddly got really good at stealing. Not proud of it, obviously. But back then I was really proud of it. I was like, dude, I'm, I'm so good at stealing. I'll steal whatever. There'd be a group of five of us. I'd be like, what do you guys want? They'd be like, yo, give me a soda, give me some Slim Jims, some chips, and a Cinnabon. All right, cool. What do you want? Yeah, get me this, that, bam. Give me an iced tea, bag of chips, and a Pop Tart. Bam. What do you want? I would just go down a list of five. I would walk in, empty book bag, because I did no work in school. That's why I dropped out. I wasn't gonna pass anyway, um, and yeah, so I would just go in there, and like it was so odd how good I was. I would walk in, bam, 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 book bag full of soda, chips, Slim Jims. I'd come out and I'd be like, "Here's your Pepsi. Here's this. Here's your iced tea. Bam." and I never got caught. Well, I got caught once. I did get caught one time, but like other than that, never got caught. So I used to just do it all the time. Do you know how I got caught? I got caught because and I would always be like, yo, let me just go in by myself because you guys are you're gonna like I didn't want them to like mess anything up. Um, I didn't want them to mess anything up, so I was like, let me just go in by myself. Bam, he comes in the one time with his friend. Well, we were all together, and he comes in one time, and our friend's in there. Do I know his name? I do. I'm not gonna say it, but so I go in there one time, and we all go. I go in there. He comes in, and his friend comes in, so we all are going in together. And what does this man say? He goes. He literally goes. They walk in. Bam. Here's the door. Here's the register. Here's them. Imagine there's two of these, and I just have a black pen. That's not, if I would have used the same example if I had a white pen, but bam, they walk in, cashier here, and they go, the one dude says to my friend, he goes, tell him to steal me some Oreos. I'm in the back of the corner store, and my book bag is filled with Pop Tarts and Cinnabons and blah, 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 whatever, so we were going to eat that day. Bam. The cashier dude comes in yelling, I know you stole something. I know you stole something. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he's like, let me see your bag. Let me see your bag. And we just start running. He goes, don't come back. I'll call the cops. And I'm like, bro, I'm like Floyd Mayweather out here, 50-0, but now I'm 50-1 because you walk in like, yo, tell them to steal me. I mean, imagine you walk into a bank and you'd be like, yo, when you steal that money, can you give me some of this? Bam, dude, those doors are locked. We're not stealing anything. We're going to jail now. And I feel like I want to say that kind of ended my streak. I think I stopped after that because I was like, whew, whew. That was my run-in with the law. The local corner store guy said, I know you stole something. I said, I didn't steal anything. And then we went back and fucked up those Cinnabons. Eating them wise, obviously, not anything else. I don't know what you were thinking. Yeah, but those were good times. Those were good times. I think that's all my odd stories with him. But yeah, I don't steal anymore. Stealing is not too good. Man, dude, now I just keep thinking about them eye boogies that I have, dude. Like I said, sometimes I'm like, man, do I look weird in public? And that goes with like, oh man, like when you're talking to a girl, phew, dude, all my men out there, all right, who are gonna watch this and I'm gonna be like, oh, he can't talk to girls. I know you get scared, and you can say that you don't, but you're a liar, okay? Me, I mean, I'll go to the gym. I'll set my phone down to record a video. Bam. Put my phone down. Bam. Turn around to go walk over to my weight. There's a girl over there. I just sit down and I tie my shoe. I pretend like I wasn't even about. I was actually done. I wasn't even gonna work out. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I'm done. I think I'll just go home and I'll be like, damn, I gotta put the weights back. But then she's standing right next to my weights, and I'm like, maybe nobody saw me put them there. And then I just grab my phone and I leave. So like, you're lying out there if you say, dude, I said something this weekend. What was it? I mean, sometimes it's like my brain's thinking like I'm gonna answer, but then my mouth just opens, and the words that I'm saying don't make any sense, and then I'm like, damn, I fucked that up. Like I don't remember what it was, dude. You know what gets me every time? Like when I'm ordering coffee, I've been going to the same coffee place for like 6 months. Okay, I've seen the same people over and over and over and over and over again, and it's only women baristas, okay? And they're cool, you know? They're cool. They're cool people. They're nice. They know my drink. They know my name. Every time they're trying to make small talk, they're like, "Hey Nigel, how's your how was your day? Or how was your Memorial Day? You doing anything for Memorial Day? I just go, no. Yep. And then they're just looking at me like, what the, that was a weird answer. Like, no. Um, and then after, or I do this a lot. Like, man, the one time I was ordering my coffee, that's not even just when I was ordering my coffee. Sometimes, um, let's just say basically I have an addiction, and I accidentally talk about Ben Franklin like all the time, and it always comes out when I talk to girls, and I don't know why. Like, I could be reading a book and it doesn't even have anything to do with Ben Franklin, and a girl will be like, this girl one time, what was it? Oh, I think it was my barista actually. She was like, not my barista, but you know what I mean. I mean, she's my barista when I'm ordering and she's actively making my coffee. At that moment, she's my barista, but she's everybody's barista. Um, but she's like, oh yeah, like you're always here reading. What are you reading? And I was like, oh, I'm reading this book about George Washington. And she goes, oh, well, how is it? And I said, I mean, it's a good book, but it's got nothing on my boy Ben Franklin's book. And I said, my boy Ben Franklin. I'm, and like at the time, like I was like, I kind of thought this barista was cute, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna get her number one day. Bam. The first time we ever had a conversation, I brought up Ben Franklin, and I've referenced him as my boy. I was like, oh, that's my boy Ben Franklin, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm reading a book about George Washington. It's got nothing on my boy Ben Franklin though. And she was like, "Oh, you're a big Ben Franklin fan, are you?" And I go, "I'm a huge Ben Franklin fan." There's people behind me trying to order their coffee. She was probably just trying to make small talk, and I'm getting hype. And I go, "Oh, that's my boy." I was like, "I'm a big Ben Franklin fan," and I pull out a half a dollar coin of Ben Franklin, and I go, "I carry this with me everywhere I go." And she went, "Oh, that's cool." And I was like, "Damn." I was like, well, one, she probably didn't even actually care what I was reading. She was probably just being nice. And two, why didn't I just answer? Or why didn't I make it seem a little bit cooler? Like, I could have said anything else. Like, I could have just said that I was reading a book about George Washington because I liked history. She would have been like, oh, that's cool. He's smart. But I didn't do that. I said, oh, it's got nothing on my boy Ben Franklin. In her head, she's probably like, didn't even ask about Ben Franklin. Um, and then I'm like, that's my boy. And she's like, oh, that's weird. Why is Ben Franklin your boy? Like, why are you that passionate about Ben Franklin? I think he's such a cool guy. I literally wish I could meet him. I wish I could meet Ben Franklin. I wish my guest could be Ben Franklin on this show. It would be amazing, and I would never get over it. I would literally get a tattoo of the snake. You guys probably don't even know. Okay, that snake. You know that Sixers logo, that snake. That's Ben Franklin drew that. Join or die. You don't even know anything about it, bro. But anyway, told her that I love Ben Franklin. Definitely didn't care. And then she went, "Why do you like Ben Franklin so much?" And then I took the bait and I started talking about it. And then I immediately was like, and all of a sudden I'm not nervous because I'm just talking about Ben Franklin. But that's the problem, is that I don't know how to talk to her, or just anyone in general, not saying her specifically, but I don't know how to talk to her. So she says something I'm interested in. And then, well, first things first, I do one thing that you're not supposed to do, which is just talk and talk and talk and talk. Imagine you go on a date, okay? And I know I have this problem, and I've been told I have this problem, and I know that I have this problem. First, I was told I had the problem, and I went, I don't have that problem. And then at one point, I realized I was like, oh, I have this problem. Um, Basically, like if I'm talking sometimes, especially if I'm on a date, imagine right now, me and you, camera, audience, are on a date, okay? I've been talking for 25 minutes now. You haven't said a word. Imagine this podcast started off with you saying, like, hey, how's your week? I just accidentally talked for 25 minutes. You don't even want to talk to me ever again now because they're like, this dude fucking just talks so much. I mean, that's why I'm doing this podcast, because obviously fucking I This is all I do is just talk, 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 talk. And then my friends and family, and then apparently girls that I meet out and about, they're like, what the fuck is this dude rambling on about? Why is he talking to me about Ben Franklin? They're probably thinking he needs an outlet. This is my outlet. I talk to you about Ben Franklin. So that way, that's basically my goal is if I get all my Ben Franklin talk out here, I can, oh my God, let me just imagine. I can imagine I'm walking and then I see a pretty lady and I'm like, I'm going to go talk to her. Bam. Confidence up. Imagine fresh buzz cut, dude. Bam. Nice buzz cut. Got my tattoos out. They're always out. Bam. I go up to her and I'm like, what's up, girl? That's not how I talk to people, but what's up, girl? Bam, bam, bam. What's your name? Oh, nice name. My name's Nigel. Now, see, that's my problem is what do you say next? Because I would say, like, what do you like to do? And then she would probably say what she likes to do. And then I'd be like, oh, I like to read. And then naturally, her next question would probably be, well, what do you like to read? And then I would bring up Ben Franklin and then I would talk about that for 25 minutes. And then, I feel like I have two problems because the one problem, I can just talk, which that can be a good problem because at least you're not going to go on a date with somebody that's not going to talk at all. Okay. Actually, that's how I would be going on a date because you don't even have room to talk because I just talk too much. So, um, yeah, so that usually ruins it. And then I don't get their number because they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why did he just show me a picture? Or why did he just show me his Ben Franklin coin? That sounds sexual, but I have a coin. It's upstairs. It's on my bookcase. I put it on my bookcase and it's next to my keys because when I get dressed in the morning, bam, I grab my keys, pocket, I grab my Ben Franklin coin, put it in my pocket. And I do that every day. Um, and then, yeah, we'll talk, 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 bam, 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 bam. I'm like, man, that was such a good conversation. That's because only I got a thrill from that conversation because I talked about me. Um, they're thinking, oh, this guy is just talking. They're not interested anymore. Um, and that's a me problem. Because then, bam, 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 this conversation went so good. Let me get your number. Yeah, I'll give you my number. Bam, no text. Ugh. Ugh. It's like, hey, it was nice meeting you earlier. Blah, 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 blah. Bam, send. Delivered. Oh, what day is it? Oh, 3 days later? Delivered. Oh, maybe, maybe she's busy. 1 week later? Oh, still delivered. And then she probably went home to her friends and was like, I met this guy today. And they're like, oh my God, how was he? And they were like, oh man, at first, like, I just saw him standing in line and he was just blinking his eyes with eye boogers in his eyes. Yeah, then he came up to me and he had the biggest eye booger, couldn't even think. And I just had to change the subject. So I was like, oh my God, what do you like to do? And then that's the only question I got to ask because he talked about Ben Franklin for 30 minutes. And yeah, I mean, I do that a lot. So yeah, my brother says I have an addiction, but I feel like like I don't know, man. It's like I don't know. I feel like nowadays like it's weird because nobody wants to talk to anybody, and I'm not discrediting everything I just said like about me. Like I definitely do that, but nobody ever wants to talk. Like if you go up to people in public, I feel like you can tell, like they're like, oh my God, somebody's coming up to me. Like, what is this? And it's like an odd interaction because people are like, what? You're walking up to me and talking to me? Um, and it's like, it's not, I don't know. It's not that I necessarily have a problem doing it. Like, I can psych myself up and do it, but I don't know. Sometimes you like start over analyzing, like, yeah, because you don't want to feel like you're putting on a show. Because then it's like, man, I'm not being authentic right now. Um, I don't know. Let me change this because I don't think I'm the problem. Because I've talked to some people, like if you talk to the right person and they're like, oh, you're so cool. But this sounds so disrespectful, but it's never the shawties, the bad ones, you know? I need me a I don't like using the word bad bitch because that's disrespectful. Okay. Okay. Imagine this. Okay. I'm gonna use the word bad bitch, but I don't mean it. Okay. Because I don't think that that's a nice term. But it's such a nice way to say it. So I'm gonna use the term bad bitch. But if there's any ladies watching this, I don't look at you that way. Okay. I would never call you a bad bitch. Only in the form of a comedic story. Bam. Resume. So oh damn it! What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Damn, I do this all the time. Imagine I went up to you right now and I was hitting on you, and you just had to watch 30 minutes of this, even though you literally are watching 30 minutes of this. Imagine that. Like, how would you feel? You'd be like, "This dude doesn't even know what he's talking about," and just did a podcast camera break to explain that he doesn't like saying bad bitch, even though he's literally gonna say bad bitch. Um. Oh yeah. Okay. Imagine I don't remember what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna think I know what I'm gonna say. So okay, bam, you're in public, scene bookstore in the bookstore, bam, you walk up, bad bitch. All right, I walk up, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna say something, even though have I ever said something to like somebody that like no, I have. I went up to a couple of people that were definitely way out of my league, and I was like, I don't care. And then you go up to them, and then immediately all confidence gone, and I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to say? Because I feel like if you look at it, basically every time you're talking to a girl that you're like romantically interested in, or I guess not romantically interested in, but obviously like you go up to somebody like the intention is to like talk to them. And like, you know, my problem is every time I go up to somebody, what sticks in my head is because it's like, okay, what do you want in your life? I don't have any like major career goals. Like obviously I'm not a bum. Like I'm gonna work and like there's things that I want to do, but like my life isn't like, oh, I want to be CEO of this company or I want to have $1 billion or I want to own this company. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I want to own this and own that. Bam, like that's not a lot of my life goals. My life goal is literally like I want to be a father and like a husband. Like that would be like if I could work like a job that I like doing and we could afford all our stuff and like we can go out to eat and maybe go on some vacation sometimes. Um, that's my only goal. That being said, every time I'm every time I'm talking to a girl, the only thing that's in my head is like, oh, like my future literally lies on whether you my future literally like my future goals literally fall on if somebody will accept me because it's like oh like you don't need anybody to do your goals like people will be like oh I'm not looking for a relationship right now because I'm just focusing on myself, I'm focusing on like my goals. Okay, what if my that's like the one goal that literally does require somebody else. Like you can't get that without somebody else. So sometimes it almost feels like well that future plan like if I'm talking to them I'm like obviously like you shouldn't put so much weight on each interaction because you might talk to somebody and you don't like them. So obviously like oh well I was overreacting when I was literally thinking like oh my future lies on this conversation. Um, but it definitely feels like that sometimes. And I think immediately you go up to them and you're like, oh fuck, like do I have eye boogers in my eye? Am I flinching? Is my eye twitching? Um, does my shirt smell like I left my? Does my shirt smell like I only dry my clothes on delicate because I don't want to shrink them? So I dry them on delicate before I go to bed, and then I wake up and then they're still a little bit wet, and then I have to put it on delicate again. But then they already kind of stink. Like, do I smell like that? Um, do I have dandruff in my eyebrow? Um, is if I look the right direction, the light is shining off of my head because I only have a buzz cut, so it kind of looks like I'm bald, but I'm not. I just have short hair and I have a buzz cut, but it looks like I'm bald sometimes. Is my face greasy? They wouldn't even know because like it's just my face. I can only tell if I like wipe my face, but they probably can't help by just seeing me. But all these things are going in my head, And then I talk about Ben Franklin because I just need to talk about something that makes me comfortable. And then I end up walking away not with this person's number. But anyway, yeah, over analyzing, I definitely do that when I talk to a girl, especially when you're texting somebody, bro. Like, I'll be talking to my friend, and I'm like, "Yo, what do I say?" And I'll be like, "All right, what did she say?" She said, "When do you want to take me on a date?" He's like, "All right, when do you want to take her on a date?" I'll be like, "Friday." And he's like, "All right, say Friday." And I go, "All right, let me text Friday." I text Friday. Well, I don't text it. I look at it and I go, I don't know, man. That sounds really robotic. I was like, let me say it out. How about this? What about Friday? I don't know. Whatever. And then, bam, I finally end up sending something. And then we go from texting every 2 minutes. Not that I'm like an anxious texter. Like, I'm not the kind of person where, like, you send a text and we're texting every 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden now you take 3 hours. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, that was it. Like, I lost it. But that's actually exactly how I am because why is it taking you 3 hours to answer? Because you text me and I'm at work, and let's say at your job you're not allowed to be on your phone. You know what I'm doing? Going to the bathroom. I'm gonna text my shorty back. Be like, imagine like this is me. I'm walking throughout the day, bam, 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 and then I feel my phone go. That's the buzz. I feel my phone buzz, and I go, and it says, shorty, and I go, oh, gotta go to the bathroom. Bam. I take a pee break. Bam, text my shorty. 3 hours later, not even a day later. Oh, sorry, I was busy. I'm in the bathroom, like, oh, text, 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 text. All right, back to work. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. And then you're like, what am I supposed to say? Like, people want to have so many conversations on them. I don't know, man. I definitely do that a lot. Sometimes I forget to smile at them too, man. I went to go get a bite to eat at this bar near my house because I like their food a lot. And so I'm sitting there, and sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, I probably look weird at a bar sometimes because, like, I'll sit by myself. Like, if the bar is full, I have no problem just sitting by myself. Like, I'll sit over by, like, the tables, and I'll be on, like, my phone. I'm watching wrestling, or I'm just doing whatever. I got, like, my headphone in. Um, and like I'm just minding my business. I have no problem like just being there by myself. I'll go out to eat by myself all the time. Like I don't care. It doesn't bother me. And these girls walk in. They all look over. They smile. The correct response. Well, they don't walk over to me. They just walk by and they like look over as they're passing and they smile. The correct response would be, well, obviously to be nice, I would smile anyway. But like if I obviously find them attractive, like I would smile back because I feel like a smile kind of shows that you're interested. But that's never what I do because the fear and the pure like just frozen emotion that soars into my body when a pretty lady walks by and smiles at me, I literally go like this. That's it. They walk by. I'm like on my phone. Bam. I look up. Like 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 if you're trying to get a girl's attention, you would be like maybe like let's say you're the girl. So you'd be like this. Like bam. Let's say I'm doing work on my laptop. You might look over. Might look over. Like you look over a couple times, and then if you guys lock eyes, you might be like, yeah, smile. Cause then and then if she smiles back at you, bam. I should go over and talk to her. But this is what I do. Imagine I look over at you. You smile at me, and I go, she's probably like, what the fuck's this dude staring at me for? She's probably like, damn, do I have eye boogies in my eye? Like, oh my god, man. And I do that all the time. And then immediately after, like, and then they stop looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, because they probably don't think I like them. And I don't know, man. And it's like, all right, at that point, like, what am I gonna do? Blame it on? I'm gonna blame it on them and be like, oh man, like they just don't make it easy to approach them. They looked, they smiled, and I just stared at them like a serial killer. Um, Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely something I got to work on because man, I do that all the time. Or like you're walking in a store and you're walking by like a pretty girl, and then you just don't look at them, and then you leave the store. Let's say it was in Target, and I leave Target like, damn man, I should have asked for that girl's number, but then I just don't because I'm like, I didn't even look. Like I'm walking from the bathroom at the coffee shop back to my seat. Seats here, bam. This is where the baristas are. I don't even know if you could see this. This is where the line is, like here. Bathroom's over here. So I'm going like this back to my desk. Bam. Pretty girl's right here. I don't even look at her. And then you know what I do? Because there was her here and then somebody in front of her. I do the basketball Euro step thing out of each of their ways. And I don't even look at her. And then I have the nerve to go back to my seat and being like, damn, I should have said something to her. Or like, oh, I wonder if she'll come say something. Like she'll come get a napkin that's near my desk or whatever. No, she's probably like, this dude's fucking weird. He didn't even look at me, and then he Euro stepped. To be real, she probably didn't even think that. Like she probably was just like, I'm getting my coffee. But I overanalyze it, and that self-destructs the whole situation. So I don't know. I don't know. There was one time my friend invited me to a pool party because I hit him up and I was like, yeah, or I like before we left work, I was like, yo, like, what are you doing this weekend? He was like, oh, like we might be throwing a pool party if you want to come. And I was like, all right, let me know. And then he texted me in the morning. He goes, yo, we're doing it at 11. It was like 8. Who does a pool party at 11? From what I've heard, I guess everybody. I don't know why I thought 11 p.m. I just thought like it's 8 o'clock and you're hitting me up now to say like, hey, in 2 hours, 3 hours, we're having a pool party. I don't know. So I was like, all right, word. I like to go read at the coffee shop for a little bit on like the weekend. So I was like, all right, word, I'm going to go do this. And then I'll probably shoot over there around like 10:30, like 11, 11:30, whatever. Bam. I get there. This girl sits next to me. And I'm like, damn, I got to say something. So I start talking to her. And we start talking. It didn't go anywhere, by the way. Spoiler alert. She never texted me back. But then we start talking, and then I forgot that I was supposed to go to his pool party. And I don't even know that I texted him. I think I texted him like like at like 5 o'clock, and I was like, yo, my bad. I was talking to this girl. And then what made him even more mad, and we've been beefing because I didn't even know he was still holding that resentment. He's like, yo, I invited you to a pool party. You didn't even fucking come. And he's like, you didn't even seal the deal with the girl. And I'm like, bro, I know. And I talked to her about Ben Franklin, dude. I mean, without fail, I do that. Without fail. Oh, man, I got to stop doing that. No, because if I got to keep doing that because one day somebody's going to be like, I prefer John Adams. And then I'm obviously going to look at her. I'm going to be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But you get it. Like the fact that she knows, she's like, oh, you like Ben Franklin. Well, I like John Adams. And then we'll debate why we like them each. And then she'll probably debate his political views and I'll debate Ben Franklin's political views and why we thought which one of them was a better leader and a cooler person. Um, yeah, I don't know. I hope this didn't come off like I was complaining a lot. I don't think it did, but I don't know. Sometimes I think I have a tendency to complain, but I don't want to be seen as a complainer because I don't think I'm a complainer. I think sometimes you just have like things going on in your life, and I don't know. I think I'm just talking about it, but it comes off as a complaint. You know, um, yeah. But I just feel like I don't know. Yeah, it's not a complaint, especially like if it's just something that you're like trying or you want, like whether it be like a job or a goal or whatever. Sometimes it's just so easy to be like upset by it because I feel like a lot of times, and this definitely happens with me, there'll be something I want, but like the thing about working on something is like you just have to keep doing it. Even like just do a little bit every day. I know this seems like it's off topic, but just do a little bit of something every day, like whatever it be. Like you want to learn. Like I want to open up a coffee shop. It's like all right, so I have to learn how to make coffee, stuff like that. What I would have a tendency to do is like go on YouTube, try to learn everything in one night. Bam, I got all my notes down, blah blah blah, and then I'll hear something and I find out that like maybe I don't know something and I'll think like, oh my God, like I suck at this. Like I don't even know what I'm talking about. And and then you just stop because you're like, this is dumb. I'm not even learning anything. And then you just stop. And then a couple months go by and then you realize like, oh, like I was actually learning some stuff. But then now months have gone by and I haven't learned anything else. When in reality, it's like, okay, so like I took the weekend and learned as much as I could. But then I just got so burnt out and frustrated that I didn't know everything that I stopped. 6 months later, imagine if I just didn't even take that weekend to learn so much. Imagine if I took that weekend and I just learned like one thing a day. If you're trying to learn a new language, if I learned a new word a day or something like that, in a year, that's 365 new words. I mean, I don't even know how many words there are in the language of whatever language I'm learning or that I currently speak. Like, if I learn a word a day, 365 words a year, that's so much better than learning 20 words in a weekend and then not even trying to learn the language for the rest of the year because I just got so burnt out that I like wasn't learning it or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's easy to like start something and just get so obsessed with it and then you just crash out and you don't finish it. And it's like I remember my therapist said to me one time, she said progress is linear. I think that's what she said, if that makes sense. Um, and that could go with like emotions or like if you're working towards something like okay, I'm starting here. Let's say it's like with your emotions. Like okay, I'm starting at the bottom. Like you're trying to get over a relationship or a breakup. We'll say okay, obviously you start at the bottom probably because you're upset. Bam, and then you start to get a little better. You start to go out with your friends. So like you started here, you start to go out with your friends a little bit. Bam, you have a good night. You see a picture of them. You fall back down. Now you're lower than you were when you started, and then again. So it's like okay, now you're lower. But let's say okay, you have a couple good weeks. You have a couple good weeks. You start to realize like all right, maybe that relationship wasn't for me. Now like you were here, you're here. Bam, you fall down again. But this time when you fell down, like you're only here, and you might be looking and you'd be like, oh my god, I can't get over it. Like I'm crashing out. But like she said, progress is linear, and it comes in waves. It comes in waves. Like I forget what she said. It sounded so good. She was saying the stages of regret or something like that. I don't think it was the stages of regret, but it was basically like a lot of. I actually learned this when I was learning to be a personal trainer. It was like you have a stage where you don't even realize that there's a problem. You have no idea. So again, maybe this is the breakup. You just broke up. You're in denial. You're like why would she do this? Blah 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 blah. You don't even know that there's a problem or anything. So that's the first stage. And then the next stage is like maybe you realize it, but you're not necessarily doing anything about it. Then the next stage is you're thinking about it. So you're thinking like, okay, like yes, I did this in the relationship, and that probably like played a part in what happened, and that's something that I should work on. I should work on that, but you haven't started working on it yet. Then the next step would be you start working on it. So maybe you start going to therapy and you start talking about these problems, and then the next step would be like maintenance. So you just keep doing like you keep working, you keep going to therapy, you keep working on all this stuff, you keep working on yourself. Um, but through that process, you can't look at it like, okay, I've been going to therapy for 6 months, but sometimes I still like get upset when I'm like, it's a Saturday night. I'm used to doing this with my ex girlfriend, but now I'm like, it's a Saturday night and I'm just sitting here alone, and then now you're sad and you're upset because you're alone, and you start thinking like, am I gonna be with anybody else again, and all this kind of stuff. Um, by the way, all of this is what I think about. Um, but anyway, it's really easy to look at that like I'm failing or I'm falling behind in my progress to get better, but it's not, because if you look at it, it's like okay, it's Saturday night and I'm upset because I'm alone and like I'm not used to being alone, and that sucks. But well, what else did I do today? It's like, okay, I went to a coffee shop. I'm past this, but just saying for anybody that like is still going through it, like, um, okay, I woke up, I went to the gym, I went to a coffee shop by myself, and did this, that, and the other, whatever. Well, a couple years ago, I was too afraid to go to the gym. I could not go to the gym by myself. I would only go to the gym with my friend Dave. And it like I remember one time we pull up to the gym. I go there at the same exact time as he did. He had to go home for some reason. He was like, I have to stop home real quick. Like his mom needed something. And she's like, can you stop home real quick? And he was like, like, yeah, I'm working out, but he's like, honestly, like, I gotta go, but I'm gonna come back later if you just want to keep working out. And I was like, no, I'll come back later. And I remember thinking, like, dude, I'm such a bitch. Like, I'm literally here at the gym. I have things to do today, and I'm gonna hold off on doing the things that I need to do because he can't work out right now. So I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna come back later because I just had such bad gym anxiety. Yeah, I just had such bad gym anxiety. And then I just slowly like started getting over that, and then I started going, and then now when I go to the gym, I walk in like I freaking own the gym. Like I have no problem walking to the gym. It doesn't scare me. Like there's big dudes, hot girls, obviously, that scares me a little bit, um, but you get over it, and then so all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, again, yes, it's Saturday night, and I'm upset because of X, Y, and Z, but I did something today that I couldn't do before. That's progress. Go to the coffee shop. I remember this year because I was in a relationship for a year, and I've never been a person that would do things by myself. So I would either like throughout my like I was with this person for a while, um, on and off, but throughout that we would just do everything together. So if I was going out to eat, I was with this person. If I just whatever, like I was with her, and then when we would break up, I would just do things with my brother. But like kind of this time around, obviously because we're older, when I was like 17, like yeah, there was always like a friend or my brother or somebody to hang out with. But obviously now we're older and like people have work, my friends are working, whatever. So there are times it's inevitable where you're gonna be alone. And I was just so afraid to do anything out in public by myself. Like I couldn't go out to eat. So it's like, well, imagine like I like the food from this bar, but my friends don't want to go, so I can't go because then I have to go by myself. Um, and I would do stuff like that all the time. And then there's this coffee shop near my apartment that I really like going to. And she had showed me it before, and I was like, oh, I want to start going there. And I remember, um, it was the day before my birthday. I was like, I'm gonna go in. I I drive near it, and I was too afraid to go in because I was like, oh my god, it looks like there's a lot of cars here, and I just didn't go in. Um, And I remember driving home. I just went to the bookstore instead and got a coffee. And I was so upset because I was like, dude, like, I can't live my life like this. Like, I'm just too nervous to go in. And I was like, that's like all the plans that I had for today are done because I was too afraid to go in by myself. And the next day was my birthday. And I was like, what am I going to do? Ruin my birthday? I was like, I had this whole plan. I was like, I'm going to go get a breakfast bagel from this place. I'm going to drive over to the coffee shop. I'm going to eat it there. I'm going to get my coffee. I'm going to read. Like, it's going to be a good day. And I was like, I have to. I can't just ruin my birthday because I'm too afraid. And I went in and I was so nervous. And I walked in and I was like, everybody's looking at me. Nobody was looking at me. But it feels like that. And then you walk in and you have a lot of anxiety and you're like, I don't know where to go. Like, am I going to be walking up to the right spot? Whatever. Like, what do I order? But now that was 6 months ago. I go all the time, and like it's not a problem. And and then now I look back and I'm like, dude, I go there all the time. I walk in carrying two sparkling waters, like one on top of the other, because I bring these everywhere I go. So I'm walking in and I got my book, I got my sparkling water, no problem. I'm like, because I used to think like, oh, people are gonna think I'm weird. Like they're gonna think like, why is he carrying those cans? Blah 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 blah. And then you just start to do it, and I don't know. You just realize it's like it's not even a problem. Um, but anyway, the whole point of that was like that's progress. So it's like, okay, yes, like you're gonna go to bed at night, and that it might make you sad because you're by yourself. or I don't know, like for me sometimes, like every time I don't do too much during the week. Usually the stuff that I do is like during the weekend. So like for me, like when Sunday rolls around, sometimes you get this feeling of like loneliness, like it was another weekend where I didn't meet somebody, and then that like that sucks sometimes. Um, and then again, so you even if I'm okay 5 days out of the week or 6 days out of the week, whatever, sometimes you still have that day or those couple hours where you're just in a mood, and then you start to think like, man, like I've just been stuck in this rut for months, and then you start to feel down on yourself, and when you start to feel like that, like that's when it really starts to feel like you have a problem, and then you start thinking bad about yourself, like, man, like am I this, am I that, blah 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 blah. But what you have to remember is progress is linear. I'm in a bad mood right now. But what I try to think is like I'm just in a bad mood right now because I wasn't in this mood earlier. And earlier I was laughing, I was joking, and all that kind of stuff. I was driving, I was vibing, I was listening to music when I was on my way to the coffee shop. I was in such a good mood. I was like, I'm gonna read my book. And so it's just right now that I'm not feeling good. But I'm in a good mood a lot. It's just right now that I'm not in a good mood. And that's okay. It's not because I'm failing in my progress, like to get better as a person or whatever. I've just something probably hit and I'm in a bad mood right now, but that doesn't take away the progress that you've gained to get there. So I thought that was good that she said that progress is linear. Um, there's a song that I like. It's Russ and Logic, and because sometimes my therapist would say something and she would be kind of flat out. She'd be like, do you want me to be the kind of therapist that's just gonna like say like just yes and nod and like you ramble? And I was like, no, like I want you to tell me if I'm being a fucking idiot. Like tell me to stop talking if I'm talking too much, like overshare, like not oversharing, but like if I'm just talking and I'm just rambling, like I'm not here to just get words off my chest. Like I need somebody to talk to. I'm not here for somebody to talk to. I'm here to discuss like things that I would like to fix, and I want you to help me with that. So I want you to keep me in check. If I start rambling about Ben Franklin, which I do, like I want you to put me in check. And and she'll do that sometimes. She'll be like, "Oh, like this problem that you're talking about, like I want you to know, like," and she's not being mean, but she's like, "That's not normal. Like that's not a normal thought, like about to have about yourself. Like that is something that you should reframe." And what was the line that they said? And I told her about it. And I was like, I thought it was so funny. It was Russ, and he was talking about how when he got famous, he thought like, oh, I need money, I need cars, I need houses, all that kind of stuff. And then he eventually he realizes like, I don't need any of that. What was he saying? He was like, I was needing beats and raps for four whores to be exact. Um, he was talking about like a bunch of cars, and he was like, I was needing validation, which I agree is whack. Mad at my therapist, like, bitch, I agree with that. There's the kicker though, my therapist is me, complaining about my problems. Anyway, that was so funny. I thought that was so funny because he's like, I got famous and I needed cars, I needed girls, I needed this. But then I realized I wasn't happy. And he's like, oh, I don't need any of that stuff. He's like, I need to go to therapy. Like, because I thought that all that stuff was gonna. Oh yeah, he said I needed validation. That's why I bought that stuff. I needed validation. And so he's like, okay, I need to go to therapy. And then I just thought that was so funny when he said I was needing validation, which I agree is whack. Mad at my therapist, like, bitch, I agree with that. And yeah, every single time, I'm Mike Tyson. Every time she would say something, and it would feel like an attack on my character, but that's just my ego, of course. And I'd be like, oh man, like it would strike like, damn, fuck you, like I do that. You're right. Um, yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to end this on a bad note, but I feel like I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Whatever it be, like life will throw something at you, and then you don't even have enough time to process it, and then like something else, like like you got stuff you're going through, like you're trying to fix something, car problems or dating problems, or I mean, God forbid, like health problems. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just hard, man. I'm not even saying for me, like for for anybody. Like I know somebody who's God, I think they have the worst luck. Like they just people in his family just keep getting sick, keep dropping, and it's like, man, that's so crazy. And then it's like, and then it's you go to work the next day, don't be late, don't call out, like keep your high production up, and then it's like, you have a death in your family. It's like, man, I don't give a fuck about this job right now. Like my mom just died. Like, but you have rent, so you just have to go do it. And I get that, but it's just so crazy, man. Um, anyway, this took a dark turn. So let me switch it up real quick before I end it. I had soup for the first time. Everybody at my job kept making fun of me. I had a lady at a baby shower one time ask me if I was a serial killer because because I never had any soup. Um, and then everybody at work kept coming at me because basically I thought soup was gay. I was like, why is my food in water? And I don't like that. And then don't give me that bullshit answer where you say it's not water, it's broth, dude. You ever eat chicken noodle soup? Why is my chicken and my noodles in water? I'm not drinking it. Put that shit in a cup, I'll probably drink it. Man, yeah, not a big fan of soup. Never had it. But everybody at work kept saying, like, you gotta try it, you gotta try it. And they would say, like, what makes soup gay? And I said to my coworker, this is what I imagine. This is how I imagine you have soup. You go home. It's a cold winter day. It's December, almost Christmas, and you go home and you're so cuddled up in your blanket. And I hope he sees this too because this is what I think of him. He's so cuddled up in his blanket and he's so excited to eat his hot warm soup. And he's probably gonna watch Christmas movies with his boyfriend. Um, yeah. He's sitting there. He's like, oh, I worked all day out in the cold, and then he's just in his pajamas, and he's all cuddled up in his blanket, and his big boyfriend comes out and hands him his soup, and he says, "Here you go, honey. I know you were out in the cold all day," and he kisses him on his forehead, and then I just imagine him just a big smile on his face while he's eating soup, and I was like, dude, soup's gay, okay? Soup is gay, and but anyway, they kept coming at me, so I was like, all right, man, I'll try it. And I went to Wawa. My bad. Wawa's not the place to go. That's what I was told by these soup gays. I got cheesy broccoli or creamy broccoli or whatever. Not the soup to try. My bad. Got the soup gaze again. I mean, I knew I was gonna pick something wrong. And then I tried it and I was like, dude, that shit's gas. Like that was really good. I got that and a meatball sub from Wawa. And that was really good. Honestly, I can go for some creamy, cheesy broccoli right now. That shit was good. But tried that. That shit was good. And they were like, all right, you take back what you said, right? I said, no. This soup was gas. So good. Fire. I'd probably eat it again. Soup's still gay. You go home, eat it under your blanket on that cold day with a smile on your face. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. If you like dudes, or if you're a lady that likes ladies, be a dude that likes dudes, be a lady that likes ladies. All right? But if you're a man, and this is no ego, toxic man. No. If you're a man, and you go home and you're like, man, I can't wait to eat soup, you're gay. All right? I mean that with no harmful intentions other than you're gay if you and you're gay in the sense that like, bro, that's gay. So soup's gay. I still stand with that. But call me gay because honestly, I'm about to go to Wawa and get some soup. So um, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of me just basically rambling about my problems or my fear of talking to a woman. Um, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I think I'm gonna start doing these more often because this was fun. I was so nervous doing them on my first two because I had no idea what to talk about. But this one, I think this one was good. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking every in the middle of the week, like every Wednesday or something, I'll probably do a solo episode, and then on the weekend I always drop a guest one. So yeah. Anyway, this was fun. like, comment, subscribe. I'll get better at these. I'll keep getting better at them. I think I am getting better. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, guys.